What did you try and found out it's not for you? Meth. Worst experience I've ever had in my life. So glad I wasn't one of the ones that get hooked on that shit. Being a teacher. I love the teaching. I hate being a teacher. Edit. The funny thing is that I'm still teaching. Will be changing after this school year is done. Do I know what to? Not really, but I shiver at the thought of another 30 years to go. Edit 2. I've seen tons of questions and I'll put it this way without going too deep. It's not you, it's me. I need to work on me right now. Being a crime scene investigator. I have a bachelor's degree in forensics. I got hired in my dream position at 23, just 2 years after I graduated. This was Plan A, the dream I had been working towards since I decided to go into forensics when I was 16. Then I quit after just 3.5 months. I wasn't prepared for how intense crime scenes are. One of my supervisors had once told me that we aren't called because someone is having a good day. And she was absolutely right. There are so many players and so many moving parts. I was overwhelmed with what I was expected to know and remember. I could have gotten over that aspect, but the emotional and mental intensity of a scene would paralyze me. Most death investigation crime scenes we were called to were suicides, homicides, and drug overdoses. Almost never had someone died peacefully surrounded by people they loved. It was always violent and lonely. I had a tendency to think about a person's last moments that led up to why we were there, and I would be overcome with emotion. I had panic attacks at multiple scenes. I would always get the work done, but it took such a toll. One day at a burglary scene, I broke down and told my trainer that I don't think I could do this job. She took over the scene while I went to the van and cried on the phone to my mom. I quit the next week. I finished up any open cases I had and threw in the towel. I couldn't do it. It took a long time for me to be okay with that decision. I knew if I stayed the job it would have killed me. I was praised for realizing early on that this wasn't the job for me and getting out, but I felt like such a failure. I also felt the degree I got from university was now useless and that I had wasted thousands of dollars for nothing. I'm very lucky to have a support system who love me and care for me. I wouldn't have made it through this decision without them. It would have eaten me alive. I'm about 1.5 years removed from when I quit, and I still sometimes struggle. I'm in a new position now where I work closely with the crime scene investigators I worked with, and I'm much happier. Edit. The bit that reads, almost never had someone died peacefully surrounded by people they loved. It was always violent and lonely, was added for context and perspective for the reader. I knew I wasn't going to see peaceful deaths. And never once did I say that's what I expected. Working in a daycare made me realize I love my kids, not all kids. Cocaine and bungee jumping. The hospitality sector. Browsing DeviantArt. Being a cop. Not the right personality for it. Went back to being a medic. Office jobs. Being a fucking people pleaser. I tried meth twice. And it was the same both times. I felt more alert kinda. I could concentrate on things better, but I didn't feel anything else really. I felt my personality was little more cold and I didn't care too much about anything. I didn't get the euphoria and anything that made me want to do it again. I just don't get it why people like it so much. I do benefit from ADHD medicine, so I'm thinking it's that. But yeah. To and through, thank you. I tried a sensory deprivation tank because I thought it would be therapeutic, etc., and it devolved into a panic attack. I really tried to write it out, but 15 minutes and I crawled out crying and shivering. Apparently some of us need to feel connected to our senses to feel real. Also the salt burned the shit out of my scalp. Wear a swimming cap if you're gonna try it. Playing the guitar. My teacher straight up promised to give me an A for effort if I didn't come to class anymore. Ada. This was a guitar elective class at a public high school. Ada 2, wow, I did not expect to wake up and be the top comment. I don't think I've been the top comment or had this many of quotes on anything on Reddit ever. Thanks for all the awards. Shout out to Mr. Shiga. He really was an amazing teacher and I just really was that bad. He actually had a ton of patience with me until we both realized that guitar was just not for me and it was probably better to take that stress off of my already very heavy plate senior year. It was actually first period, so I was happy to not have to go to class and I brought him Starbucks pretty often as a thank you. Casual hookups. A committed relationship is far less stressful and more satisfying. Remember, the top comment on today's video will make it into tomorrow's video. Be sure to answer the question in the comments below.